friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kate and today I'm going to be going over everything I got up to in the month of January. If you are new to this channel or my other channel ᵎᵎխန့, I do these wrap-up videos at the end of every month to showcase all of the games that I played and the books that I read, but like the things that I didn't showcase on either of my channels. There is a lot that I feel like doesn't get showcased on either of my channels. One, because I haven't really done a lot with this face channel yet besides this, and two, because on my other channel I mostly just cover building characters and exploring places, so anything that I do other than that doesn't get shown. And so I want to kind of use these videos as a way to remember all of the things that I did but that didn't get to see the light of day. It's kind of fun for me to look back and see all of the things that I accomplished in just 30 to 31 days. To start this video off, we are going to jump into the game section and talk about all of the updates and progress I made in different games. And then for the second half of this video, we will cover all of the books that I read and my thoughts on them. Okay, to start off with, as usual, we are going into Genshin. The most exciting thing I have to show you guys is actually something that you can see in a video on my channel, or I guess on my other channel, ᵎᵎխန့. I was fortunate enough to win another 50-50 and I pulled Columbina. I believe it was a little bit early. I honestly couldn't believe it. It wasn't even a capturing radiance, like I won, so that's insane. I also worked on building her, so where she's at and all of her artifacts and her talents, it's all featured in a video on ᵎᵎխန့, my ᵎᵎխၤ channel, so make sure to check it out if you are interested in that. Next up, I finally C6 Thoma, which was super exciting. I used Thoma in my Chevy team and I just love Thoma. I love Inazuma characters, so it's really exciting to have another one C6. I was able to get some Iansen constellations, which is exciting because I just built her and I just started using her. I now have her at C3. I use her in my Varessa team, and I mean, ideally all my 4 stars one day will be C6, so that's what we're working towards. Another character that I love, I got 4-star character that I love. Let's see, where is he? I was able to get C3 Aoife. I love Aoife and I hope to one day build him, so getting more constellations for him is just like giving me more motivation to actually work on him soon. The last 4-star I want to showcase, I C6'd Sethos. I mean, I think I wasn't even able to successfully get Sethos on the first banner that he came out. Like, I don't think I pulled for him maybe. So it's kind of shocking to see that I even have C6, but I do. I have C6 Sethos now. I don't know if I'll ever build him, maybe. We'll have to see. Now, for the very last thing I want to showcase, because I grinded out doing my dailies for weeks and using my resin, yada yada, did the event, I was able to get C1 Wanderer, which is exciting. So this is when in wind favored state, the attack speed of Wanderers, Kugo Fushoden and Kugo Tufukai is increased by 10%. Additionally, the wind arrows fired by the Ascension talent Gales of Reverie will deal an additional 25% of his attack as damage. So I felt like that was a good constellation to have for him, especially because I keep trying to revive him and eventually I'm gonna, like, you know, I don't know, finish him. I mean, he's not even in that bad of a place, so it's shocking to me. It's mostly just his artifacts that I'm disappointed with. But that is all I have to show for Genshin, so let's hop on to our next game. Next up, we are jumping into Zenless. I don't have any to show, unfortunately, for Honkai Star Rail in the month of January, but maybe February we'll have more. To be fair, I was getting really lucky a lot in the last few months of 2025, so I guess this is okay. So the first thing I want to show off is sorry, I forget how to show things. I got all like Cinema 6 for Nicole. Nicole's one of my favorite characters. I bought her little skin because she's such a cutie. I love her. So I'm super excited to finally have Cinema 6. At 72 pity, I won the 50-50 and got Ye Shengwang. I'm not sure if that's how you say it, but I love her. She is so beautiful and I was really hoping I would get her. So thank goodness I didn't have to spend and I was able to just, I think doing my dailies and working on a couple quests and different things got me here. The last thing I have to show on here is I got Cinema 6 for, is it Sukaku? Sukaku maybe? I think that's how you say her name. So another character that I have Cinema 6 for. A lot of these 4 stars I have. Oh, actually, would you look at that? I have Cinema 6 for Seth as well. I didn't even realize. I guess this happened recently. Oh my god, the kitty. I'm gonna cry. I love. But okay, that's all I have to show on here. Not a lot, but still, I think the most exciting thing, or I guess the most wanted thing happened for me. So we're big chillin'. Next up, we are hopping into Wuthering Waves, and unfortunately, I only have one like semi uneventful slash uncool thing to show. It's cool. Like it could be nothing. I was pulling on the standard weapon banner. I don't even know what pity it was, but I was able to pull this phasic homogenizer, homogenizer, phasic homogenizer. Sorry, I guess I can't read. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, I was able to pull this from the standard weapon banner, which is kind of cool. It was obviously the selected weapon that I had. I just don't know if I was even that close to pity, but this is the only thing I have to show in Wuthering Waves. I've been pulling on these banners. I just have not had any luck, unfortunately. But I have one more gacha game to hop into and show you guys, so let's do it. I'm starting to fear because Infinity Nikki doesn't want to open, and I'm like, I know the update is today, but like not yet, right? It's only 3 p.m. It's only 3 p.m. Please, 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 please. I have so many things to show here. If not, I'll just like show you what I can. I'll like pull up images, I guess. But please let me in, Infinity Nikki. I have a bad feeling that this means that the server is down right now. Okay, that's okay. I guess. I don't know exactly where my camera was, but we're gonna try to make this work. Sorry, this is like, I guess, just how we're gonna have to do this for now. I'm gonna show you on the Infinity Nikki website. I spent $9 to finish this 4-star because it's a bug catching outfit and I just think it's so cute. This is the Sweet Waltz 4-star. It is literally the cutest, so to me, it was worth the $9. I thought, well, I haven't spent money on Infinity Nikki, so it's worth it. So I just pulled it the one time, and I'm content with that. I just wanted to finish it. Maybe it is my internet. Anyway, we're now on the wiki. Why? Just shut up. Sorry. Whoa. It's asking me for so much. But anyway, I was able to get this Forgotten Songs 4-star, which I believe was from either like a shop or an event. So I just wanted to complete it before you like wouldn't be able to get it again. Next up, I pulled the 4-star that was on the current like new banner. I wanted the 5-star that was running. So of course I had to pull for this 4-star. This is the Verdant Verse outfit. I successfully finished it twice, so I also got the evolution for it, which I like didn't want, but I guess I think I like the evolution better. It's this red one. It's pretty. I just didn't really care for it. I believe I pulled this Blossoming Stars outfit. I didn't like pull the outfit, but I pulled one of the little card things that gives you an evolution for them, and so I evolved this one because it was the only one that I could evolve out of the dresses that I had. I think it's this one. I pulled the evolution for the Breezy Tea Time standard 4-star as well, and so these I always feel like are so hard to get. I think I got it during a video, maybe not though, actually, now that I think about it. But I at least shared it on my Instagram story, so check out my Instagram if you want, like, I don't know, I want to say live updates. They're not really like that live, but you know, like day-to-day updates on my life. I pulled this and I just was excited because they feel like just so much more difficult to get than even the 5-stars because there's just so many different 4-stars that you can get, and so I don't know. I grinded out the last of the event to get this Guardian Floof outfit. Why do you keep just, I know. I'm using an ad blocker because I'm filming a video. Leave me alone. Yeah, so I believe I did this last night. I really wanted to get this outfit. I did not want to miss out on it, so I quick finished up the last of the event that I needed to collect the last few pieces that I needed. So that's how I finished that. And then, unfortunately, even after finishing all the event stuff, I didn't have enough diamonds, so I had to spend, I think, like $25, $30 or something like that to finish up the outfit I'm about to show you. This is the 5-star I was talking about that was on the past banner that I really wanted. It's just the fairy vibes are so beautiful, I could not pass it up. So I was willing to spend a little bit of money to get it. hopefully I won't like any of the outfits on the next banner, so I don't have to spend. It took enough pulls to get the evolution for it as well, so I do have this pink version, which is, in my opinion, the prettier version. I would have been perfectly content with this one, but getting the evolution just made me really happy. So that was kind of a weird way to have to show you this last gacha game, but now I want to just talk about the one of the main games that I played in January that's not a gacha game. I started Power Wash Simulator 2 with Brooks. It's like our new play before bed game. Like, this genuinely is one of the most relaxing and like de-stressing games of all time. I loved the first Power Wash game, but this one just feels, in co-op especially, it feels amazing to play. It's also a great one to put on to play when you're watching something cozy. So I recommend either Criminal Minds or, I'm trying to think, Gilmore Girls is probably a good one. I think we watched Stranger Things while we were playing this. So many different things, but this is a new staple in my games. I want to hopefully decorate my own place and showcase that for you guys soon. We just haven't like gotten into that quite yet. We're not like that into it yet. We've only done like 50% of the main story. Like I keep saying, it's the perfect cozy game. I definitely recommend it. So it's the perfect way to end off all of the games that I played in the month of January. So now let's go ahead and dive into the book section. Okay, so now we are jumping into the book section. So to start with, I'm going to talk about the first book that I read in the month of January, and that was Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This is a second chance romance between childhood friends, Macy and Elliot, and it's actually told between two times, their childhood and then also there's the present timeline. After their relationship crumbles, Macy disappears for years until she happens to encounter Elliot and get a chance to reconnect with him. Although currently engaged, Macy starts to feel a connection to Elliot and has all of these emotions from her childhood coming back to her. So she's sort of forced to navigate them and how that's currently affecting her engagement. This book addresses growing up and managing grief really beautifully. Also, it showcases a lifelong friendship between two characters, which I loved and I thought was very beautiful. This is not the heaviest of books, but it does mention heavier topics, as I mentioned, grief, and it is dealt with in a way that feels very genuine and I think a lot of people might be able to relate with or connect to. Personally, I didn't love the idea of Macy being engaged to another man at the beginning of the book. I always have a hard time with books that like start with characters in other relationships. I don't know why. Like, even if it's unless it's like a very, 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 very bad relationship, it's kind of hard for me because like, oh, you're in a relationship, what are you doing? I think that section of this book was fairly forgettable and probably could have just been left out. Although I enjoyed the jumps from the past to present timeline, and I think that is more of what carried me through the story than the bits and pieces of the weird engagement. Seeing the evolution of the two characters' friendship over the years was very beautiful and inspiring almost. This is a book I would love to come back to in the future and read again. I honestly will say it was the perfect first read of the year, but I did rate it 4.25 stars, which is a pretty solid good rating for me. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that the engagement at the beginning is most likely what knocked this down a bit more for me because it was a very memorable book and very enjoyable. Next up, we have a book that I read on my Kindle, and that is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I also listened to the audiobook for this one. I don't believe I mentioned it for the first one, but I did also listen to the audiobook for that one. I have been using audiobooks to kind of help me consume more books throughout the month. I like to do, it also helps me like when I have to pause reading to like go do a chore or run an errand or something. I like to just put the audiobook right where I was reading, right where I left off in the book and just like continue. But anyway, this book is a slow burn sports romance about a Canadian football player, Aiden Graves, and his assistant, Vanessa Mazur, I believe was how they pronounced her last name, or Mazur. Vanessa has been dealing with just years of thankless work from Aiden, and she finally decides that she's just ready to quit. She doesn't want to deal with it anymore and she's tired and just looking for better opportunities for herself. But of course, in an effort to get her to stay because he's a man and he is like, oh, she does so much for me, I don't want her to leave. Of course, he's like, hey, would you marry me so that I can get my visa and like I'll continue to pay you and pay you really well. And that's kind of, it's the arrangement for just a couple of years. It's obviously not a permanent arrangement. I want to say Mariana Zapata is the queen of slow burns. The chemistry between these characters was just pouring off the pages for me. I really enjoyed the buildup of the romance and the progression of the feelings between the characters. The reason this isn't my favorite of hers though, and why I'm only rating it 4 stars, is because I just didn't love some of the dialogue that was used to talk about the male main character. He's just referenced as a big guy a lot, and like that's fine, like he's big, like he's tall and he's really strong, but like she literally just calls him big guy a lot and solely focuses on his size. And for me, I don't know, it could just be because of like past trauma, who knows, that I don't really vibe with that language. I'm like, is there anything else that we could call him? Like, is he really okay with you frequently talking about his size and like how much he eats, and just, yes, he's an athlete, so it's like normal, but it's just like, it seems like the only thing you like about him is that he's big. But anyway, if there was less of that, I probably would have rated this book higher. I just, like I said, that threw me off at so many different points in the book. Like, we would be going strong, it would be perfectly fine, and then she would throw big guy in there, and I just would be like, for what? Next up, I'm like leaned back and reclined because now I am just like using my Kindle to reference what I'm talking about. So hopefully y'all are chilling, you have a drink, something cozy. Next up, we are going to be talking about some manga that I read. I continued Fruits Baskets. I'm on volume 13. I rated this volume 4 stars. This volume starts with a parent-teacher conference for Yuki. Through the parent-teacher conference, you see the rough dynamic that Yuki has with his mom and her controlling nature. While he is dealing with all of this at the school, Toru is off on a mission of her own, trying to discover more about Momoji's family. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce this. I will say this volume feels very heavy on family dynamics and the dark struggles that the children have with them. I loved seeing multiple deeper mysteries unfold throughout this one volume though. I think that the ending of this volume was done very well. I almost instantly picked up the next volume because I wanted to see where it would go. Now, the next book that I finished, I was reading volume 14 of Fruits Baskets, but the next book that I finished was another book that I read on my Kindle and one that I also had the audiobook for. I think it was immediately available on Libby from like a local library, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to this because I want like a different vibe. I want to read something different. And so this is how I ended up with Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I rated this a solid 3.5 stars. It takes place in the 1960s in Mexico. This book follows the main character, Noemi, investigating the claims that her cousin is trapped in a decaying mansion by her husband. This book is a mix of gothic horror and fantasy, I think, tying in some historical fiction elements as well. After exploring the mansion more and more, Noemi starts discovering some dark secrets in this house about the family. It doesn't take much for her to realize that there is something a lot more sinister happening in the house other than just this kidnapping or the woman being trapped in the house by her husband. She is told so many different things while staying here. She has part of the family convincing her that events played out in one way, while the other half is whispering in her ear that that's not the truth. Without spoiling too much, I want to say that this book reminded me of something I'd seen recently. It really reminded me of a game that I watched Brooks play recently, and I don't want to like reveal it too much, or I guess I don't want to reveal the game because if I reveal the game, it will completely give away, I think, what this like mystery that you're unfolding is. But it was super interesting to me. I felt like a lot of scenes I was seeing like parallels, or at least the way it was described, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm visually like seeing this because of the game that I played recently. I think it's an enjoyable quick read, but of course it's a horror book, so I want to say check your trigger warnings, make sure that you're in like the right space to pick up a book like this. There are so many different really heavy topics brought up throughout this book, so I'm going to say it one more time, please check your trigger warnings. Do that for like any book that you plan to read, just to make sure, just so you are like fully aware of what you're about to pick up. I think it takes a bit to get into, which is one of the reasons that it has like fewer stars. I didn't really start feeling the book until about 50%, and that is a large chunk of the book you have to get through before you start really enjoying it. So if you do stick it out though, I think you might find it to be an enjoyable experience. And if you're struggling, maybe try picking up the audiobook because that always helps. Me personally, at least. The next book I read, I actually have the physical copy of, and I listened to the dramatized adaptation, I think. So that was the like audiobook version that I listened to. This is the third book in the Four Horsemen series by Laura Thalassa? Sorry, I'm like pronouncing everything wrong today. This is Famine. I'm having like a lot of anxiety. I don't know why. I turned the camera on today and I'm just feeling so much more anxious than I usually do. So sorry if I'm like staring off everywhere and like, I don't know, a little jittery and pronouncing everything wrong. I just feel a little weird. I feel a little weirder than usual today. But this book follows Famine, obviously, and Anna, a woman resisting his death and destruction. Similar to the other books in this series, Anna is spared from being killed by this horseman for, of course, unknown reasons. She is forced into an alliance with him and spends weeks begging him to just stop his reign of terror. As expected though, it's not going to be that simple to convince a horseman to just like stop what he was commanded and put on the earth to do. I want to say this book is the one that stands out the least to me in the series, yet I think it has the best couple. I rated it a solid 4 stars. I love Famine the most so far out of all of the horsemen that I've met, but for some reason I just have this feeling that the fourth one is going to be the best and that horseman will probably be my favorite. I enjoyed the banter and the dynamic between these two characters, but I do have to admit it did feel a little similar to the other books just in terms of like the plot, but I guess that makes sense because in a way all of the horsemen were sent here to do the same thing, just in different, like, be destructive just in different ways. But once you get to the end of this book, you sort of see the storyline of all 3 of the books that you've read so far come together. So that makes it pick up in my opinion. I enjoyed listening to the dramatized adaptation of this. I honestly think this was overall a really good read and maybe my favorite read of this month. Like I said though, I'm most excited to dive into the last book in this series, so hopefully I'll do it next month or just sometime soon. Sometimes I put off the last book in series because I'm like, oh, I love this series, I don't want it to end, and so therefore I'm like, it didn't end. If I never read the last book, it didn't end. But if you never see how it ends, is that not like disappointing? To me it is, but I do it to myself with everything and it's like, stop it, girl. Get some help. Okay, and now finally I went back to Fruits Baskets. I was kind of reading it interchangeably between these other reads, and this is when I finished volume 14. I rated it 3.25 stars. This volume starts with a bang, but overall just feels like a filler volume to me. Toru finds Isuzu passed out in the Zodiac house. She was headed to the Zodiac house to try to confirm the person her friend happens to be in love with, and after she discovers Isuzu passed out, she attempts to drag her to the hospital while Yuki is still at the school after his parent-teacher conference, but now he is investigating a trashed student council room. Yuki walked into the student council room and noticed that the entire place had been trashed again. It was completely in shambles. While doing his best to figure out who's the culprit though, he accidentally locks himself up and needs saving. I thought this volume was fun, but I think the next volume will probably pick up a bit more, so I'm more excited to pick up volume 15, I think. The last fully finished book I have at the time of recording this is Midnight in Everwood. This is technically the book club, the like Mush Club book club pick for December, but we kind of like do our book club for 2 months to give everyone time, and thank goodness because I finally got around to it. This is a magical winter nutcracker retelling. It takes place in the early 1900s in Nottingham. Marietta, an aspiring ballet dancer, is tired of her life and being forced to push her passions aside in favor of marriage and continuing her family legacy. She finds herself dancing her way into a fantastical winter wonderland that seems to be facing problems of its own. She now not only wants to find her way back home, but also figure out a way to help this new world that she has just stumbled into. I think this story is a lot of fun and I enjoyed all of the ballet references. This felt refreshing and it felt like a lot of fun to read in the winter months, especially because we just had like the winter storm, so we had all the ice, and this was what I was reading as it was hailing or sleeting. I don't think it is a life-changing book, obviously, because it's just a retelling. So for me, a a retelling being life-changing is going to be really difficult. Also, I thought that the romance fell a little flat for me. Like, it obviously wasn't a major plot point in this book, but I didn't feel like there was a lot of build-up or I don't know. I didn't see the connection between the characters for this romance. I more so just rooted for the main character, Marietta. Like, I just cared more for her individually than I cared for her being in any sort of romance. I think listening to the audiobook while reading this one helped me get through it, because there were a lot of portions of this book that were a bit slower, so having the audiobook, like I mentioned, keep me going even in parts that were just a little bit less fun and interesting really helped me actually complete the book. If you're having a hard time finishing this one, I definitely recommend trying the audiobook. It might help. I don't remember if I mentioned this, but I did rate it 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it. I think it's a beautiful book, and I honestly might reread it like around Christmas time again because I enjoyed it. So yeah, the very last book I want to talk about for today's video is one that I'm still currently reading, but I'm actually filming this on the 29th. So I have a few days until the end of January still at the time of filming this, and I know I'll probably finish it before then, so I'm going to go ahead and include it in this wrap up. It is an audiobook. It's Two Can Play by Ali Hazelwood. When it first released, it was actually an audio only release. I think now at this point you can get either a like Kindle copy or maybe even physical copies soon. But I just listened to the audiobook. I've only been listening to it. I listened to it last night. I've been listening to it while I got ready today. I have about an hour and a half left of it. So I'm going to just talk about it a little bit. Obviously, I can't form a full review or tell you what I'm rating it. But if you're interested, you can always look at my Fable, which is in the description below. I always post all my ratings there and my reviews. So if there's any books that you wanted to see more insight on my reviews for, you can definitely check that out. But anyway, Two Can Play is a romantic short story about game developers. It takes place on a ski retreat for the company. Main characters Viola and James are enemies who are forced to work together on an upcoming game. They're working on this project while snowed in on this retreat. I think it's a fun and quick read. Like I said, the entire audiobook at like just one speed, like one time speed, is 4 hours. So I've been listening to it at like 1.5 speed so that I don't listen to it too quickly. And I think it's like 3 hours. So super short, quick read. It actually takes place in wintertime, which I wasn't expecting. So I think the fact that I once again read it now when there's still a lot of ice and snow and whatever probably helped me enjoy the vibes a bit more. It's definitely a lot of fun, but there's not a ton of buildup because it is a short story. I think I could have enjoyed this a little bit more. Obviously, I'm not finished yet, but I think I might be enjoying it a little bit more like if it were a full story. It feels like maybe it was just a short story because there was like a deadline or something, but just as someone who loves to game, this is one of her books that I would have liked to be a full-size book. I would have liked all of the story between these two characters. As of right now, it's looking like a 3-star rating, but like I said, you can just check my description and see my Fable and see what I end up rating it. But that is all the books that I have for you. That's all the books I have to talk about today. So thank you all for listening to me yap about books. It's one of my favorite things to do and I don't get to do it enough. Let me know if you want to see me like make book content on this channel because I want to so bad. I just have no inspiration for like videos, period, on any channel. I'm in a period of burnout, it seems, but we will make it through. We persevere. But okay friends, we have made it to the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed watching me talk about all the things I got up to for another month. I'm so excited to see down in the comments all the things that you got up to in the month of January, and I would also love to hear any recommendations for things I should get up to or videos I should make on this channel or my other channel, ᵎᵎᵃ, in the month of February. I hope that this month treats you well, and I hope that you get accomplished all of the things that you're looking to. Don't forget my Discord server is always linked in the description below. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye!